The spokesperson for the National Religious Broadcasters, an international association of evangelicals, has been fired after his appearance on our show. In that appearance 2 weeks ago, Pastor Daniel Darling spoke about his recent column for USA Today titled, "Why, as a Christian and an American, I Got the COVID Vaccine," explaining how his Christian faith motivated him to get vaccinated. The National Religious Broadcaster said his comments in the article and interview violated a company policy of remaining neutral about the COVID vaccine. Darling was fired 2 days after refusing to sign a letter admitting insubordination. In a statement to NBC News, Darling said he is, quote, "sad and disappointed that my time at NRB has come to a close. As someone who has been profoundly shaped by Christian media, it was an honor to work on behalf of our members who strive every day to deliver the gospel around the world." Jonathan Lemire, I was part of that interview with Dan Darling. He was incredibly thoughtful. He was incredibly respectful of everyone in the organization, of the people in his church. He and I had a conversation about how he sat down with people who were skeptical. And he emphasized this wasn't about shaming people or talking down to them. It was about informing them why he got the vaccine, why it was safe, how it was developed. An outrage that he was fired for something so obvious, something so thoughtful, and frankly, something so Christian as looking out for the people around him, including those he worshiped with.
Yeah, Willie, I remember that interview, was watching it, and he was extremely thoughtful, and he made clear that he wasn't pressuring people.
Right.
That he said, this is the decision that I came for myself. I do believe people should take the vaccine. But he said he listened to those who were reluctant. He heard them out and understood why some didn't want to. And he felt like maybe he had changed some minds, but he was respectful of those who didn't. This was not some pressure campaign that he was launching. He was simply saying, this is the choice that I've made for myself, and I think it's best for people in my community. And then to be fired for that, for obviously just for free speech, it is certainly disturbing to say the least. And it comes amid, as you just went through, a rash of these prominent deaths of people from the conservative, from the right, some of them Christian conservatives or evangelicals who have been so violently anti-mask and anti-vaccine, only to then succumb to it themselves. But one wonders, and certainly this is something that public health officials grapple with, is what damage have they already done? That they use their platforms, some of them rather significant, to preach against the vaccine, to preach against the mask, and to convince many people not to take it. People who have now made it part of their identity, even as they're seeing friends and loved ones fall sick, some of them die, but seem so unwavering about their choices. And this is something certainly the White House and a lot of states are grappling with here, is how do you convince people who are so set in their ways to not take the vaccine? And they recognize the limit to the messages from the White House. Certainly, they're not listening to government, but they're listening to maybe these people in their community, prominent, whether it's media personalities or just local church leaders or community leaders or doctors, doctors who they should be listening to, because they're the ones who would be telling them to take the vaccine. So this is hard, Willie, and it's sad and it's tragic to see people lose their lives like this. One can only hope that people will see these folks die from the virus and say, you know what, it's time. I'm going to get the vaccine after all.
Here's part of what Dan Darling said to us. I'll let you decide if you think this is inflammatory and worthy of being fired. Quote, "I don't shame anyone into getting it. I know it's a very big decision to put a foreign substance into your body. It's all new. But I do encourage folks to talk to their doctor and really consider it, because we just don't want to see anyone else unnecessarily die of this lethal virus." Those words, those sentiments, respectful of the people he worships with, got Dan Darling fired.